Good morning, Christina. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Ruth. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So, Christina, can you tell me what you found on the internet today?
So, here's what I found. Experience is not how you price. Past results are. I can't charge high rates simply because I've been in business development for 15 years. That doesn't mean anything if I can't deliver today. Show how you helped someone yesterday.
Oh, this is a good one, isn't
It's
it? I
fun.
love this because like I talk a lot about kind of referrals and getting those success and those results through your programs. So I definitely think that this is the case. Like you cannot ride the wave of success forever. Like if the last time you had a success story was 3 or 4 years ago and you're repeating that same case study over and over again, that for me just kind of triggers all sorts of red flags. Like actually is what you're doing really delivering? Because the landscape changes, the market changes. Like we look at buying behavior in 2024 compared to like 3 or 4 years ago and how the industry has changed. Like I just think, yeah, absolutely, we need to, it's not about your experience per se, although we have to factor that in to our pricing strategy. We have to be able to say, this is my USP, this is my superpower, this is my skill set and my zone of genius, and it's worth
Yeah.
paying for my expertise. It's worth paying for my knowledge. Like I would rather pay more for somebody who has experience than somebody who just has a qualification with no experience behind it. And it's just like, they know the theory, but not the practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think recency in results is really important. How about you? What's your
I
take?
think so. I think there's a difference between knowing something and knowing how to do something.
Yes.
There's a book by Dave Corbett and Ian Roberts, which is From Know How to Do How. And
Yes.
it talks about you can theoretically know how to do something, but when you apply that to a situation and different contexts, you're going to come up with different problems. And it's working through those different problems
Yeah.
that gives you the experience that enables you to do things in a better way, or to think about the theory of doing whatever it is, whether it's your social media or how you price, or with the context of this here. So I think definitely a difference. And I think, as you know, I'm building some software at the moment. I theoretically know how to connect all of the pieces. I theoretically know how to put the code in different places, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes I don't know when I'm building a new piece why that bit isn't working. And sometimes
Yeah.
I assume it's one thing, and we've just had a conversation about it, haven't we?
Yeah,
And
we have.
actually it's not, it's something completely different. But now when I'm doing the similar type of thing again, I'll be like, right, okay, before I just assume it's my skills and my abilities, I'm going to check what are the other influencing factors that I now know about because of my experience are
Yeah.
impacting it. So I think your price definitely is related to your experience, but it's also what results have you delivered with that experience. So,
Absolutely.
and someone's got to, you've got to pay for both as a client, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think it's not as clear cut as saying like you only pay for recent results and you don't pay for experience. It's a combination of those two things
Yeah.
together that enable you to charge more for the work that you're doing. If you have the expertise and the impact, then you're onto a winning streak, really, aren't you?
Yeah. And I also think expertise is not a linear thing.
No.
So doing the same thing for 15 years for a certain, and that combines into, say I'm going to make up some figures for illustration, like 1,000 hours, it's probably more than that,
Yeah, I would
1,000
say so.
hours of work over that 15-year
Yeah.
period will give you a completely different set of experience to 1,000 hours of experience over the last 3 to 4 years.
Yes.
Because as you say, like it depends what industry you're in, but things change.
Yes, exactly.
So it's the quantity of experience, the recency, and the relevancy of that
Yeah.
experience to the person's use case. That's like I'm into SaaS technical
Yeah.
terms now. Yeah, to the person applicable to the client, then that's what gives them the value, because
Absolutely. absolutely.
And the value comes out in terms of how easy that process is for the client, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to miss some of the hurdles. So you won't even know about some of the hurdles. You won't necessarily see it as a client, but you're going to have less headaches. It's probably going to be faster. It's probably going to be slicker because they'll have already established the process from getting you from A to B, whatever it is that provider's offering. And that's where you get the value from experience, and that's why it should be in the price. But if you've got all the time in the world, maybe you do want someone to explore, maybe you want somebody without sort of conditioned experience that takes you down this set path, and that's the only way you can go because that's where their experience is. And depending on the personality type, they might not want to disrupt that because they've got a really neat flow that works for them, works for their business, and has got that proven track record. But it means that they might be less likely, I don't know, it depends on the person, to try something new and creative and exciting and out of the box.
And that's really important too, isn't it? Because there's always this kind of grumble in the online space of, we don't want to go for cookie cutter approaches. Like, people aren't buying into your process, they're buying into the results. And I think, if actually you're so blinkered in your approach that you can't see the alternatives or the nuance for a particular client, then actually that's to your detriment. Because if you can't be flexible around the process that you're taking them down, that your expertise has created this pathway for you, you're not going to get the results for that client. So I think it's I don't think it's as simple as saying you charge for your expertise or you charge for your results. I think it's a combination. I have a non-business related story about this. So as Christina knows, we rescued a bat on Monday. We found this poorly bat on our driveway. And we looked at the Bat Conservation Trust website. We made a little bat box, and then we took the bat to the local bat volunteer. Now, the local bat volunteer is 25-minute drive away, as opposed to the 5-minute drive to the vet. So why did we not take the bat to the vet? Because vets are qualified, they've got all this experience in looking after animals. Why did we not take the bat to the vet? Because the vet doesn't have the expertise in looking after bats. They have expertise in a wide range of mammals, but not in bats specifically. And Debbie, the volunteer, was like, there's no point in taking the bat to the vet because the vet will just phone me and ask me how to look after the bat. Because although they've got all this superior qualification and this superior experience, the experience isn't relevant to the particular case, which is looking after this poorly bat. Anyway, I had a lovely message this morning from Debbie who said that our little bat is eating mealworms, hanging upside down and feeling much better and not so sorry for himself. So that is a win for me.
Nice. That's a little reward, isn't it? For doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's a bit like GPs as well. So GPs, you go to a GP and they help. Some things they can treat you for, that's great, but quite often they're signposting you if it's anything that needs more expertise into the hospital system, or to a physio or to a nutritionist or whatever the case may be. So I think it's that balance, isn't it? And I think it's worth looking at your offers and thinking about, well, what's most important to your target audience for that particular offer? Is it that you need a standard repeatable outcome every single time? And therefore you experience the longevity of that experience, the narrow focus of that experience is really important. Or is it something where actually you're trying to create something new with the client? Something quite innovative, something quite personalized. And therefore it's that more recent breadth of experience and that kind of ability and flexibility within the offer and within the pricing structure, because you're going to have to do more one-to-one stuff, I think, or more in person, online, or conversation-based stuff to get that kind of outcome than you would do on the kind of other end of the spectrum. So it's probably worth I might do this actually, mapping out your offers and saying, what does it need to be? What is it that people are particularly looking for? And yes, everybody wants the outcomes, but it's a different type of outcome. There's like a guaranteed outcome,
Yeah.
but there could be something that's groundbreaking that could blow things out of the water and help
Yes.
scale your business, which is completely different.
Yeah. And I think this is, it's about making sure that the promise of your offer aligns with the delivery of your offer. If you're making a promise, then you have to deliver on that. But there's different, there's different levels of promise within your offer suite, right? So yes, you could have this kind of formulaic approach that gets a guaranteed outcome, but it's very much like tunnel vision, like this is step-by-step process. Or you do have this more open-ended, more kind of collaborative type of offer that is going to lead to a completely different promise. And it's, it's knowing when to flex your kind of specialist skill set with your more generalist, like soft skill set. And how can you support somebody with their kind of divergent and convergent thinking to find alternatives versus being like, no, this is the way and it's the only way that you're going to get to the outcome that you need.
Depends on their skills, right, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And their circumstances. So if they're business, if you're in a business to business phase, they just need this outcome and they need it quick and they need to know they're going to get it.
Yeah.
Then that's different to somebody who actually likes shiny objects and doing new things and trying different ways, but also wants to build something quite different, and it's going to have a big impact on their life if it's a consumer or their business, and what willing to explore those options, and they've got enough knowledge to be able to participate in those conversations. Or you've got, you're the expertise on kind of designing this stuff, how you get that education in there, because if you're not going to take them down that repeatable cookie cutter approach, then they've got to have enough knowledge to participate. And it's how you, and skills, I guess, it's how you incorporate that into what you offer.
It's like filling the knowledge gap before you start is it's really important.
Otherwise you're going to go around in circles, aren't you? And
so if we come back to the statement, which was experience is not how you price, past results are, I don't think it's as clear cut as that. Like from our conversation, we have gone into kind of looking at your offer suite, looking at the position of the offer within the offer suite, what the outcome is intended for that offer, the experience of the client. Like there's so many different factors at play that are going to come into your pricing strategy for your offers. Your expertise is really important because we want to make sure that we have a USP, that we have our zone of genius that we're working within, but it's our ability to apply those skills based on where the client's at within the offer that we're delivering and how that facilitates results that is going to ultimately determine our pricing strategy, which is quite a big thought for a Thursday morning, Christina.
It is. I'm sat here thinking, oh my God, I need to kind of think about my offer suite in this dynamics. Maybe one day we'll put a worksheet together for people.
There's
a worksheet in this.
Pricing strategy is not simple. It's not a case of like just pluck a figure out of the air, make it up, put your prices up, charge your worth, all of those things that we hear. It's a lot more nuanced than that.
And it's not fixed. I think that's one thing that people think. Once you've got a price out there in the world, that you're stuck with it forever. That is not the case.
Absolutely. And the rationale behind that, and reviewing frequently to make sure that the offer's still working in the best way. Like sometimes actually, we often hear like, don't put your prices down, but actually sometimes putting our prices down is what we need for that particular offer in that particular season. And it might be that we've changed the structure of it to justify that change in price. It's not that we're saying it wasn't valuable before and we were overcharging. It's just how that fits into our overall ecosystem and how we're delivering that is going to change the overall pricing strategy that we use to determine the price for that offer. So pricing strategy is complicated.
Talk to me.
Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, if you have got any topics you want us to discuss as well, let us know below. And we shall speak to you again next time.
Take care.
You missed that. We could do another episode on this statement and talk about the perfect offer not having
Maybe we'll do that next time.
Amazing. So as always, let us know your thoughts in the comments. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks,
That's
Christina.
great. Bye.